Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to another episode of This Is a Revolution. I'm George, and as always, I'm here with Dave.
Hi George, how you doing?
How are you, bro?
Oh, mate, tired. Hence why I've got you very kindly to do the introduction for me today, because I knew that if I did that, I'd have probably fucked it up about 10 times by now.
Well, we're in
So
this like weird vortex where if I'm you and you're me, then it makes sense why we're doing this on a Saturday morning. When was the
so
last time we did a morning podcast?
I think it was peel behind the curtain and reveal how the sausage is made a little bit. I think it was when we were recording our, oh my God, Mina Shirakawa has beat Mercedes Moné, or oh my God, Mercedes Moné has beat Mina Shirakawa before the matches had even happened. I think that was the last
Yeah,
time we did that. Yeah, I remember I was sitting here. I literally had my black fleecy pajamas on that did not look like pajamas on the
that
podcast
was
either.
that was Christmas time, wasn't it?
It was, mate. Yeah, it was in between Christmas and New Year last year, I think.
Yeah, blimey. So, Saturday morning podcast
Yeah.
because I had a really busy week at work, so couldn't get away in time to actually be able to do one in the evening. And you were out gallivanting last night. Where were you last night, mate?
I was, mate. I was at the O2 to see the Offspring last night, mate, which was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But being in your early 40s and going out for a gig and coming back the same night and then going, yeah, morning podcast sounds wonderful. Um, but to be fair, it was the best time to make it fit for me. So I was just like, fuck it, we'll get a can of Monster, we'll be fine.
What time did you get to bed?
3:30.
What
So
time did you get up?
I got home at 1:45. So for whatever, I don't know why, but the last train home is supposed to get me in about 1:15. That ended up being, as it went through, it got delayed by 15 minutes just through speed throughout the night. So yeah, about 1:30 it arrived back home, and then by the time I walked home from that, another 15 minutes on top of it.
Oh,
So
mate,
I'm
grim.
I'm usually like falling asleep on the train on the way back to try and keep myself awake. Last night I was absolutely wired, mate. Wired.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, by the time I got home, yeah, just sitting around, waiting to fall asleep, and I was like, right, tired now, go to bed. And yeah, alarm went off at 9:15 this morning, ready to go up and podcast.
Mate, that's one serious commitment. Thank you very much. And two, like I always think of the "How I Met Your Mother" quote of "Nothing good happens after."
2
I
a.m.
can't remember. Is it 2 a.m.
Yeah,
that they
it's
say?
two. Yeah,
And I used to believe that when I was young, and I used to watch How I Met Your Mother back in the day. And as I get older, it's like it gets earlier and earlier. I don't think anything good happens after midnight.
no, I'm
I'm
the
not
same as
even
you, mate.
sure. I'm not even sure if anything good happens after 11 p.m.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Yeah, and I was quite lucky that I was already by 11 p.m. or just after 11 p.m. I was already back at Waterloo Station, which was surprisingly busy. I know people will be like, of course it's gonna be busy. It's London, but just gone 11 p.m. on a Friday night, I was not expecting Waterloo
Yeah,
Station to be that busy. It's a weird place, but yeah, it's
looks like it was
all
a good
good.
fun gig though from your posts about it. So
It was very fun, mate. I wish I had my Fitbit on just to capture entirely how many calories I burned just
yeah, I
from
bet
I was
high
jumping up
energy
and down.
stuff at the offspring.
I don't normally bounce at gigs because I don't have the knees for it. But last night I
Yeah.
was, and my legs are in pain today. So
Well, funny that you say your legs are a pain today because we've got a really tight schedule this morning for the podcast. Because in about 1 hour from now, I'm off to go and get half a dozen new tattoos on my legs, so my legs will be in pain later as well.
it was funny. I said to the missus, she was like, "Why are you doing so early?" And I explained to her, and I said, "Yeah, Dave's off to get 6 or 7 new." Or I've just done the meme without even meaning.
Yeah,
Oh,
six
fuck's
or seven
sake!
new tattoos
Oh my god!
to take me up to 66 or 67
I
new
fucking
tattoos in total.
Mate, they fucking did that joke last night on stage as well. They were like, I don't know,
Oh,
about 6, 7. I'm like, guys, you're in your fucking 60s. Like, stop it.
yeah, like I can't get away from it because it's at school all the time, and I'm a maths teacher, so I'm talking about numbers all the time. But yes, yeah, ironically today, 6 or 7 new tattoos and quite big ones as well. So I reckon I'll be there for like 4 or 5 hours just being scratched to buggery. But I can't complain.
Love of the game, mate. Love of the game.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
So
So when you were in the O2 last night, bro, were you standing there thinking, I'm going to be here next year to watch Revolution Pro Wrestling?
I wasn't, mate, because I was at the O2, not at the OVO Wembley Arena. But I appreciate the segue you were trying to do there, mate. But it did.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
It did.
Well, that can be the 15th anniversary.
Yeah. To be fair, mate, it did kind of get me thinking about the kind of like the arena setup, because I have been thinking about this a lot. The arena setup for the show and how different that's going to be. So yeah, mate, I was really happy to get my tickets. Look,
You're front row on, yeah?
I'm front row. I've been saying long enough. I've had the money in my account, and I've been like, just need to get this money gone. I can be quite.
What did you pay for front row?
What did I pay? I think it worked out with fees on top of it. I think it was about 160, 170 each.
Wow.
Which,
because I had a look yesterday, and they're Wembley are selling them at 207 quid.
That's
before you add your fees.
That's not a surprise to me now they're on general sale, because pre-sale you usually get that. You usually get a little bit of a discount on top, right? So I don't know now whether Rev Pro. You know what? Let's have a little check, right?
I know for Wembley, Rev Pro are like they don't have control over the tickets like they do for their other shows. So they I'm sure that they were involved in the pricing of the tickets. But once they go on general sale, Rev Pro are detached from it.
Yeah, I've just seen that actually. Yeah.
So in terms of the pre-sale, like they were your Rev Pro prices. So it just goes to show that yes, you will always pay a premium to sit front row. Of course you do. You're asking for the best seats in the house. But it just goes to show that if it was in the control of these venues, the prices would be a lot worse than they are for I would imagine for any company.
So what's interesting is I'm just looking now at the ticket. So one really odd to see Rev Pro on Ticketmaster. Revolution Pro Wrestling Ticketmaster. Then when you go into it, so you've got venue premium tickets. So the venue themselves are charging what they believe are the premium experiences. So it says, so what do they have here? Club seats south and club seats north. So they're like, so you've got like the ring area, then you've got like the very front row of what I think is tiered, then the main tiered, then the top tiered section. So you've got two of those, and it says there, what do you get? Priority via the premium OVO live entrance. Access 30 minutes before doors and 1 hour post show. 1 welcome drink and 1 food item. Private bar and toilets. Interval drinks. I don't know there's going to be an interval.
This is too fancy for us wrestling fans.
All club seats
We're happy with a packet of crisps.
Yeah, all club seats are in the front lower tier sections. Post-show lounge may vary. See on the day menu. So they're your premium experiences, and they are the seats that are probably going to be sold by Rev Pro that will sell for about 30 quid, but have been marked up somewhere between 120 to 170 because the OVO Arena want to make a bit of money off of them. And now let's have a look at what we've got. I
can't tell you where I'm sitting, mate.
It's now on AXS. Have you got your? Do you know what
your ticket? But all I know is that I'm. As you're looking at the map, the entrance way is that way.
What, to your left?
And I'm sitting with it to my right. I don't know what way I'm facing. So as I'm sitting there, the entrance way will be to my right.
Yeah.
And I'm in one of the stands. I paid 50 quid for my ticket with the fees on top. Because my attitude is kind of like I will love it wherever I'm sitting. So I kind of have in my head how much I like to pay for a ticket to go to watch Rev Pro.
Yeah.
And I pay that, and then I I just experience what I can afford for my money.
I get
So if
that,
I'm
mate.
like, yeah, I'm just going to see what 50 quid gets me, then I'll
Yeah.
just see what 50 quid gets me.
Yeah.
And I might sit there and be like, oh, I'm a bit jealous that I'm not down there. But at the same time, I'll be back at Rev Pro watching it the next like 6-7 days later. Like, I don't need. If I sat front row for every show I went to, I wouldn't have any money.
Yeah, see, I'll be honest, mine is the whole experience of it being a Wembley show and that, right? So that's why I'm paying the premium.
And you don't do it every single time, do you? Like, we didn't sit front row for anniversary this year.
Exactly. Like, if we were back at Crystal Palace, I would not have bought. I would have bought the same seats we had last time because I actually thought they were the best seats of anywhere like that I've ever
funnily
had.
enough, mate, I sat front row Crystal Palace the first time I went for Royal Quest 2022. And I genuinely think we had a better view of it, a better experience of it, sat in the, what did we pay, like 40, 50 quid seats?
Yeah.
And also, we paid 40, 50 quid in 2025. So God knows what they would have been in 2022. Because I remember my front row ticket was like 110 then. And I imagine they're a lot more now just because everything costs more.
Yeah.
I got to 2 Sweet Jay White. And that's like one of those moments where I'm like, oh, and I think I like high-fived a Carter maybe. But 2 Sweet and Jay White was like one of my absolute favourites. And one of the people that really got me into the style of wrestling I like.
Yeah.
So you can be like, oh yeah, like that. I'm really glad I sat front row because I got to do that. But generally, like, I think that your tiered seats, a few rows back in the tier, so your eye line with the ring, eye line with the wrestlers is perfect. I love it.
I think that's it. Yeah, for me, like Doncaster, that was worth it because obviously Mercedes came round. She was doing the meet and greets, if you will, and hey, the only way you were guaranteed that picture almost was if you were already in that front row, right? And we didn't know that at the time. I just bought it for the whole, hey, let's do this. But yeah, you're right. Like, it comes down to what the money is, what you feel the value for money might be. There's a lot that goes into it, right? And I for this one was like, I'm just going to do this because this will be an experience. I'm just looking up the blocks now, mate, and I reckon I know where you are roughly. I think you're going to be in somewhere between block 7, 9, or 11. I reckon you are N7 based on what you said. So I've just had a look. So where you're saying price wise you've hit is the same area that they're doing these 121 to 170 pound VIP seats where they give you early entry and prawn sandwiches.
So genuinely, you reckon I'll be sitting next to people that are paying 170 quid for their ticket?
They might be a couple of rows in front of you in the block, but you could well be. No. Some people could pay that. I'm just having a look now at the view from block 9, and mate, it's interesting. People have complained to me about like the view at Wembley. Now I've been to Wembley for wrestling once. I went there for TNA back in like I think it's 2009, 2010. Sting and Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle, they were all on the card. That was when my mate, he used to work for TNA. So my mate worked as a TV rights agent, and his big client in the UK was TNA Wrestling. So he got access to all the shows. Obvious things aside, he got to meet Hulk Hogan many a times. Like, I got a picture with him. He actually, one time, for his job, he had to go on a week-long tour to India with Kurt Angle and was Kurt Angle's handler.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is before everything kind of came out, but he once went on a night drinking with Ric Flair. Yeah, hosted Mickey James's album release party, which I went to. Ended up locked in afterwards drinking with all these people and Mickey James. That was quite fun. That was before Hardcore Country. But I'm going to quickly share, if I can work out how to do it again. Despite being as tired as I am, I'm going to see if I can work it out, mate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this screen with you and just show you what it's saying. Roughly the view might be for you, because I think you're going to be quite pleased with this for what you've paid. And if I was you, I'd be pleased with it as well, mate. Right. Has it showed anything on screen for you, mate? Yeah.
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 as long as you can see. The reason why I didn't enjoy my first visit to All In at Wembley was because I couldn't really see what was happening in the ring. I was so far away, and I found myself watching it on the screen rather than watching it in the ring, and I didn't like that. I didn't feel a part of it. But every other show I've ever been at, I've always felt a part of it. So as long as I get that, mate, I'm very happy.
And that's because you're so close and on top of the action, right? Like, it's so there, so in your face. And I suppose that takes us quite nicely on to Sheffield, because if there's ever a venue that is going to feel like that, Sheffield is going to be one of those, right? Like, everything is so close in. So
I think it's my favourite venue, mate. I think it's my favourite Rev Pro venue for the live-in shows. Like, I really like Portchester Hall because it's quite grand and it's quite like it feels like a big step up from Sheffield, Coventry, and Southampton, places like that. But the network is just this tight hotbed. It's got a really great atmosphere. I really enjoy it. I'm really fascinated to talk Sheffield because I know that I was really high on it and you weren't so high on it. So I feel like we're going to have some differing of opinions, which hopefully will make for some good video, some good audio.
Yeah,
but genuinely, I'm curious
what it was that I wasn't keen on. Okay, so there was a couple of things for me, mate. One, there was definitely a crowd issue, and I'm not going to say the majority of the crowd. It was a very much a subsection of the crowd who are very much being picked up on audio. I think
I can immediately know what you're talking about.
I'm just going to say they were cunts, right? I use my one swear on here, but
what was getting picked up? Was this like the chant
everything,
baldy Allen Angels and baldy One Called Manders and stuff like that?
What it was, it was the chants about that, and I kind of the reason it got to me so much is look, I've said that we can sometimes be guilty of this, like in terms of not letting the noise kind of lull a little bit. But what it felt like as well, and I think this is why it grabbed me so much, is that it wasn't in service of the match. Whereas normally in a lot of these places, when you're doing these chants, you're trying to do it in service of the match, in service of the people that are in there. Whereas these pricks just decided that they were like literally everything was going to be this joke that wasn't even funny the first time, but okay, cool. You've had your first beer, and they would just carry on.
I can tell you something that's going to really, really surprise you.
What's that?
They're wrestlers.
Shut up.
Genuinely, they've been coming the last few shows. They are trainees at Liam Slater's school and trainees at Styx's House of Pain in Nottingham. Now, I think it is trainee wrestlers and their mates. Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but they don't all look like they're wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But genuinely, yeah. And in fact, you know when they stormed the ring at the end to break the melee up?
Yeah.
That was some of those guys.
Fucking hell, yeah, okay.
And it's interesting that you say that because I got a few people DM me afterwards being like, what was up with the shit crowd tonight? Like, that's not what Sheffield's normally like.
And when I said about, because I remember posting, because I was posting about it live, and I think people were like, well, what area of the crowd? I'm like, I'm making it very, very much a point here that I'm not saying the rest of the crowd, because Sheffield is one of my favourite crowds. Generally one of my favourite crowds. Like, they get it.
And it's also, it's one of the most loyal crowds, Sheffield. To the point where I can pretty much tell you where everybody sits in the crowd. The noise that would have been picked up on audio was coming from the entrance to the venue. So it is basically Sheffield Network. You've got the stage this end.
Yep.
So the wrestlers come out the curtain, they walk down the steps, they walk around the ring this way, and you've got good quality fans here up by merch, good quality fans here, good quality fans here. This week I was just standing at the bar, my new spot, loved it. Just stood at the bar with a pint and watched. But up in this corner here, you've always had wrestlers. You've always had wrestlers there. Whether it was, a Luna, Brett Semtex, Skylar Rose, the Kurt Atlas before he became like a contender. They'd always and it's kind of like there's some sofas there. You sit on the sofas, you watch the wrestling. You're not taking up a seat, and you get to network.
Yeah.
And the last couple of shows, you've had this group of people that loiter there. They're not on the sofas, and I think they've all, like paid to come or whatever. But their vibe is very different. And on the one hand, they're increasing the volume of the network, which I think is really positive. But I don't think that they're adding to the product that's happening. They're trying to take away from it by trying to pop themselves and make themselves laugh and
100%. Yeah.
And I don't like that. It's why I get a bit arsey sometimes with the Southampton crowd, like a little subsection of the Southampton crowd who just seem to try and make each other laugh rather than like contribute to the show.
Yeah. And look, I've said that to you, haven't I? Like I was very self-aware one day that one of the things I said about is letting things breathe, letting things just kind of go. And sometimes I've been included in stuff that hasn't allowed that, because I get it. Sometimes in the moment you just get a bit into it, you have fun with it, but you're right. Like, and I think that's
I always think of the one for me, like the worst one ever.
I know
apart from Particle Country.
I know it's going to be
Cameron Kai and Richard Holiday.
Dick Vacation.
And when that match started, I was involved in it as much as anybody else, in the sense that we were kind of negging Richard Holiday because that's what his character demanded. But there was like a turning point quite early on in the match, like a few minutes in, where you're like, like when it's like the wrestlers are trying to get that from the crowd. So they start and then it's almost like, well, the match hasn't started yet. We're just winding the crowd up. And then they properly lock up, and there'll be a moment in the match where it's like, it's serious now.
Yeah.
And that's when the crowd are supposed to see it and die down and then involved in the match.
Yeah, 100%.
And at that point, you could see lots of people in the crowd stopped, and lots of people in the crowd didn't, and they just kept going. And I remember at one point, it'll always stick with me, the look Cameron Kai shot at the crowd when he was just like, you're killing this. Because it was a massive moment for Cameron Kai, because he beat Richard Holiday.
Yeah.
One of his first Rev Pro wins, and it was really sour.
Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you that he did that, because I don't remember anything from the match, but what you've just said. And I can't remember.
And I think for Sheffield on Sunday, sorry mate, for Sheffield on Sunday, had there been a young Cameron Kai, the crowd would have eaten their match alive.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Alan Angels has been around the block. Manders has been around the block, so they just like, and Manders literally would, every time they do it, I don't know if it caught it on camera, he'd walk out to the crowd and slap people's pints away from them.
Yeah, I caught all of that. I was saying to myself, I was like, yeah, Manders is not happy with this. I can tell he's not happy with it.
RKJ plays up to it, but you could also tell the way that he was like staring people down and going up and getting in their faces that he's like, might do something. And I do wonder how many of the guys know that they're trainee wrestlers, because I don't think, and I'll be completely honest, I don't think they are doing themselves any favours.
No.
And I also found it interesting that there was a big divide between, there were a lot of wrestlers at that Sheffield show. There was a big divide between them. So Will Cruz, Miles Kamen, Holly Barlow, were all together very, very far away from the trainees. And that was a little bit telling. They obviously all know each other, because they have all been through the PPW school and stuff and are involved with that. But
yeah.
And like I say, it's not all PPW, because last time, and the reason I know this is because last time I stood next to them and I could hear all their conversations. And it was very, very clear that they were trainee wrestlers. And I was with a couple of the PPW trainees, And once it was clear that they were starting to annoy me and annoy them, I asked them, I was like, are these guys all with you? Are they all with PPW? And they were very quick to be like, no, they're not. They're House of Pain. They're not in them.
Got you.
And I think that might be where it's like a little bit like getting tarred with the same brush.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of trainee wrestlers, loads of them as good as gold, some of them noisier and heavier on the drink than others, and some of them taken away from it instead of adding to it.
Yeah.
And it's the loudest ones that get noticed.
It very much
actually, because I feel like the show and I feel like the quality of the matches and the way that they extended some storylines a lot less subtly than they did in London, but still interestingly, was really, really good.
Yeah, and it is a shame because it was basically the hardcore country moment for me in a small show, in that they took away so much of my enthusiasm. And it's very easy to say, because people will be like, well, why don't you just turn the sound off? Because I hear people say that sometimes. I can't watch wrestling without the sound on, because I need.
My old man used to watch football without the sound on, and I'd be like, it's not the same.
I need to hear the impact.
That vibrancy.
Yeah, you're like when someone's hitting the mat, you need that sound that comes through. And I said that before, and it's interesting because one of the guys from Eve who does all the production, he actually commented this on Twitter one time. I just thought it was the way that things got mic'd up and sounded. Like sometimes you would hear chops and you just wouldn't hear a thing. And I was like, I can't watch this. As much as I want to enjoy it, I can't watch it. I can't hear anything. And he was like, oh, no, we're working on this. It's post-production. They've got it to a great level. And I'm like, perfect. That's what I want. That's what I need. And the same as with Rev Pro. Rev Pro's always had that. You can hear when someone clatters down on the mat and all of that. So I can't turn that off. But also, I don't want to turn it off because I want hype in the crowd. I want the lull in the crowd. But they just wiped it out for me. So that was kind of the other thing. The other thing for me in terms of what I didn't like about this show was I felt it dragged. I really felt the pacing
was long.
It
was very, very long.
And some of the matches benefited from that. I don't know because I haven't got times. Nothing is up. I felt that Manders and Trent really benefited from time. They felt like they had time, but I don't know how much of that was time because Manders went and fucking gave the crowd a slap or two. Second half, first half I liked more than second half. Second half I didn't really like at all. There was two matches. One of the matches I thought was one of the worst matches I've seen this year.
Which one?
You're gonna probably hate me for saying this. And when I say worst, I don't mean the guys in it were the worst. I just mean it didn't click. Leo Rush, Leon Cage.
I thought you were going to say that.
It did not work for me whatsoever. Even with Leo doing something a bit different, it did not work for me at all.
That's funny because I really, really enjoyed that match. But I do see where you're coming from because I feel like it was a few minutes longer than it should have been. And there were a few too many false finishes.
Which that happened a lot over this show as well.
Yes, yep. And again, I think that's up for it. I was absolutely, and maybe this is the first time I've ever seen Blackheart live. They came very, very, literally at one point were wrestling by my feet. So I just found myself just watching and being completely encapsulated by Leo Rush.
Yeah.
I've never really seen, because Rev Pro don't really have people that do whatever we're going to call it, a supernatural gimmick or I don't know what to call it.
Yeah,
Demon Finn Balor and the TJP.
Yeah.
I can't recall what it's called. Begins with an A. Or that sort of thing. That I've not seen that in Rev Pro before, so I found it really fascinating to watch. And I thought Leo did an excellent job of balancing I'm still Leo Rush. I'm just leaning into the fact that this means a lot to me, and I'm trying to take this kid off his game, and I'm having a bad day. I feel like being a little bit antagonistic.
It used to feel like when Finn Balor used to put the paint on to intimidate people. That's kind of what it felt like a little bit, yeah.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Putting it on to intimidate rather than this idea that I'm not Finn Balor, I'm a demon. So it's funny because I really enjoyed it, and it was one of my favourite parts of the show. But I also completely understand why it wouldn't be as entertaining to watch from home. And whilst I really enjoyed it and would be like, I'd recommend people go check it out, I'd also need to add it's by no means perfect, and it could have been done a little bit better had it been shaved a bit. And
yeah,
I'm a little bit curious by Leon Cage is being made to be an absolute beast that cannot be defeated unless you go mental on him, and I just don't think that's necessary. Like, the kid's come back from an injury. He's small in stature. He's young in terms of experience. He's not Samoa Joe. He's not like Manders in terms of an independent level. Yeah. He's not Jay Joshua. He doesn't need Luke Jacobs to have to hit 4 or 5 finishes on him to be able to pin him. So I'm not sure why we're doing it. And my worry is that once you start doing it, you have to keep doing it. Otherwise, suddenly, when he gets beaten by one person's first finisher, it's like, oh, what happened? Why have we changed path? So that fed into that for me. What did you think of the main event? Obviously, we were massive on the first match. So how did the second compare for you?
This felt very much like Luke Jacobs versus Tomohiro Ishii 2. In that the idea that I'm getting this lovely match again, that I loved so much the first time, meant so much to me, it was never going to be able to live up.
No, I agree.
It just wasn't. And I think if these guys come back round to a third match at some point, I think they'll go down the Luke Ishii route where the third is better than the second.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it would probably have to be like, they'd have to look at the third match and be like, what can we do that's just completely different?
Yeah.
What can we do to make it feel... Do you remember when Young Bucks and Kenny Omega had a best of 7 trios with Death Triangle?
I do.
And they basically made every single one of their 7 matches feel completely different.
Yeah.
I feel like third time round, it would be like, how can we do this completely differently with a similar vein to that series?
I think so.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. But at no point was I watching it thinking this is going to break the top 10 of the year for me.
Yeah.
When the first match we watched, albeit it was much earlier on in the year, that was more like, holy shit, this is match of the year so far. This is going to take some beating.
So that,
I don't think it was achievable. I never think the second time round is.
No, that first match, I think, is still in my top 3 matches of the year. I think that's where it sits. Like,
I can't recall off the top of my head where it is in the top 10, but it is like, I think it's 4th.
For me, it is somewhere within that top 3, and it's higher to the top as well. So I'd probably say it's probably at the minute sitting in second, on the basis that I can never at this point tell you what is first because I always need to mull it over again. But yeah, like
also like quite telling of my tastes in wrestling, because I'll always be the first person to say, if you look at my top 10 of the year, if you have any interest in it, it's just my top 10. It's just what I liked. It's what I enjoyed live. It's never. I'm not saying one match is better than another.
It's just
and that you're wrong if you disagree. It's just my personal.
Of course.
Like, I like one band more than another band. I like one cheese more than another cheese. I liked this wrestling match more than this wrestling match. But it's the only tag team match in the top 10.
Yeah, whereas I'm very much a tag team wrestling person, and I love to see it. And well, I said to you going into it, I was like, I just don't understand why we're here with CPF and Young Guns, right? I was very critical of the booking to get there, but the match delivered, and that's another one that's probably that's definitely in my top 10. So
I bet it is for a lot of people as well, because I remember after it's the first time ever I've had a little bit of negging when it comes to the list, because somebody replied being like, why didn't you like Young Guns versus CPF? Why isn't this in the top 10? Are you not a CPF fan? Are you not a Young Guns fan?
this,
It's like,
this
and
is
I think I just aired it, but it's like, no, it's just it's not my favourite match of the year.
mate,
That doesn't mean it's bad, does it?
there's a meme that which is really like to encapsulate what the internet is like, and it's someone going onto the internet going, "I love pancakes," and then the first comment is, "So why do you hate waffles?"
Yeah.
I don't.
Exactly.
I could enjoy it all, just not necessarily the best.
I literally said to Andy Quilden last night, I was like, if it weren't for you, mate, I would not be on Twitter anymore.
Oh, you know what, guys? Only on This Is a Revolution can you get pillow talk between Andy and Dave. To round out that second half, I thought the women's match was really good. There was only one bit I didn't like.
The finish. I did like the finish.
I've
not seen that before.
I thought the finish was fantastic, and you saw where it was going, and I was like, I like this. This is cool. Like getting both, and I love Kanji at the end, like being so like convinced she got it, like, and the VAR chant. Like,
do you see her backstage reaction?
I haven't yet. No, I've not watched any of them.
She's just sort of like she's basically called Rio out to be a bit like, you're creating these issues, like you beat me because Emerson Jane was a pain in the arse at ringside, and then in this match you've done everything you can to avoid wrestling me. Like, is this coincidence, or are you doing this on purpose? Do you not think you can beat me one-on-one? And I really think they're setting up Kanji versus Rio #1 contenders match for London.
I think so as well. I think that's definitely what you're getting, and the winner goes into face. Yeah, I think that's wicked. The only thing I didn't like about the match, there was one point where they did. I think it worked well with the first two that Kanji had in submission. And
I knew you can say this because I didn't like it either.
I like it. It made sense. So she had the Kanji Sabres Jr. on Alexis, and I think she had, was it Danny Moe she had in submission, and then Rio, or no, it was the other way around, Rio, and then Danny Moe kind of come into that. I was like, that was just one step. I liked what they were going with. I think in execution, it felt very indie, and I think all of these people are above that.
And that is it. I don't like any. I'm quite consistent with this, I think. I don't like any spot like that. I don't like a Tower of Doom spot. I don't like simultaneous submission holds where the two people in submissions are looking at each other. These are all these moments where I feel like when it's done once and you see it on TV and you're like, wow, that was really original and really, really good. That's it. You don't get to do it again. Yeah. It's the Okada fall into his Omega fall into his knees before Okada could hit the Rainmaker. Was it that way round?
I think so, yeah.
You've done it once, you can't do it again.
Yeah.
It can't be repeated, because otherwise you are just cosplaying. And it's a little bit like, if we look at it on the big scale, this whole John Cena run in WWE where everyone's using each other's finishers to try and beat him. Crap, don't like any of it.
Yeah.
I know what wrestling is, but I also know what films are.
Mm-hmm.
And the best films don't cosplay each other. They don't take something, a formula that worked in one film, and repeat it. They create something original. And that's why all my favourite films are, and all my favourite actors, and I think all my favourite musicians are these kind of almost like revolutionary people. You know, like, I love Nick Cave, I love Radiohead. Like, these are bands that came out and just broke the mold and they went left when everybody else was going right. Like, I love films like 21 Grams and Primal Fear and American History X, like these films which are not Hollywood blockbuster Marvel type, like they're just a really great story told beautifully and originally. Like that's me all over. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure. And the thing is, I know anybody who's ever wrestled listening to this would say, stop moaning and listen to how the crowd reacted to when we did that spot because they loved it.
But that's it, right? As well, it's like right? This is
you got to please the majority, not the minority who's standing at the bar drinking his Guinness.
But this is the beauty of wrestling, right? And we're not saying that what happened there was wrong by any stretch of the imagination, right? If I was coming into this and I don't watch as much, I've seen this to the wife, right? I think that I'd have enjoyed that spot much more if I watched Rev Pro and indie wrestling on the level I used to watch it, right? Maybe 1 or 2 shows a year, I'd be like, this is cool. But I watch so much more consistently now that my tastes and what I'm looking for has changed, right? I'm not saying that spot was wrong because a lot of people are like, that is really cool. And I also think if I saw that spot live and didn't see quite how it was set up, I would have probably been more forgiving of it than I am watching on screen. Because that's the other thing that we have to remember when I do these takes, is there are some things that I'm watching from my couch at home, and we've got to remember, and that's what comes across to me, like you said, with Leo and Leon. I wasn't enamored with it by any stretch of the imagination, but how much of it that was a disconnect by not being in there. And so AEW, WWE are TV wrestling companies that have to work for a live crowd.
Yep.
Rev Pro is a live crowd company that has to work for a TV audience.
Yep.
And there's differences in that.
I'd say that your smaller indies that just happen to film their shows are completely that.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rev Pro's a little bit. I mean, I've got no idea. Maybe the numbers say that there's 10 people that watch Rev Pro on demand on a live stream. But I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of people watching it on the live stream because there's a lot of people that know a lot of things about Rev Pro that aren't at these shows, that are in other countries that you engage with on socials, and you're like, well, they must be watching it on demand. And therefore, I feel like the balance between pleasing a live crowd and pleasing a TV crowd is shifting for Rev Pro, and it's something that is like a fun new challenge to try and work out.
Yeah, and it's
for the large part they do a good job of it, but obviously there'll be some things that don't.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of it, and like I said, some of it is that's why I have to kind of pull myself sometimes and go, how much of this is just because I'm not there in the venue?
Yeah. No.
But also, this is a challenge that no other company have, because even your companies like Eve, Progress, I think Riot have their own streaming, right? They are doing 1 show a month. So they are doing it on a chapter by chapter basis, whereas Rev Pro, they've got to
they
get
live stream them as well, or do they film it and then put it up the next day?
So Eve
Progress live streams, doesn't it? I'm sure
Progress live streams on Triller. So Progress and Eve do the same thing. They live stream. Progress does it via Triller and their own service. Eve does it as a members only stream on YouTube. And then they do, so they do that. And then a couple of days later, they then do an edited version that has like backstage promos in and stuff like that. Again, really great way they do it, but yeah, that's how they come across. So they have the benefit of once a month knowing like the big points they're going to hit, and they can't quite have the moments to be quite as intricate either. Sometimes they have to so in the show that they've just had, at the start of the show they were like, they had Dan Reed interviewing Alexis Falcon going, right, you've got to get your tag team partner for the next show. Whereas in Rev Pro, that would be like, okay, we'll put this out there into people's brains. Okay, we've got Sheffield coming up. We're going to hint at who it is. Okay, we've got commentary, and then that might be where you get the announcement. Because at the beginning of the show it was that, and at the end of the show it was Alexis Falcon coming out with Rio. And it was announced that they've got Jamie Hayter coming in December, which they're doing that obviously because they want to get the name out there, start getting the ticket shifted. Whereas that's the other thing that Rev Pro don't quite have that luxury with as well. And I say it is a luxury because when you are running 1 show a month, you have to get it out there to get things moving, right? So we were talking about this the other day. Eve have just announced that they're doing the Wrestle Queendom at the O2, Indigo at the O2. Big upgrade for them. They're doing that in March. And we worked out that there's 4 shows until that.
Yep.
How many shows are there till Uprising? Like 3 shows, maybe? So that kind of shows you...
2 shows left until Uprising.
Okay, cool.
But if you think of it as Eve have got 4 shows until their show in March, Rev Pro have got 4 shows until the end of December.
Well, the one in March is actually including the one in March. So 4 shows including that one. So yeah, that's what I mean about the differences in terms of like the amount of shows you've got, and it is a harder thing that they have to do. They have to make it balanced so they're not just giving everything away. They have to give something on this show. They have to give something on another show. So it's a hard balance. I can't even remember what my original point was, but I think that's it. You're gonna have your crowds that will lap everything up. You're gonna have your crowds that will be there live, who'll go there, they'll watch, and they'll love it all. You've got your TV crowd who is gonna need something a little different, and it's gonna be interesting to see going into next year how that continues, because if Mercedes carries on holding this title longer than, because when you said about it originally do it to the next anniversary, I was like, nah, never gonna happen. And now it's Wembley, I'm like, it's gonna happen. Like, Mercedes goes into that show as champion. I do not doubt it whatsoever.
She's on the poster, right?
Sorry?
She's not on the poster.
She's not, but I
also think that if they put her on the poster, it's like a catch-22. One, if they put her on the poster, they might sell more tickets because people see the big name. But on the other hand, it kind of spoils any... Because once Mercedes loses the belt, she's not hanging around in Rev Pro, is she?
Of course she's not. Yeah, she ain't coming to the 1865 to challenge up the division.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not going to see Mercedes Moné drop to the bottom of the pile and have to build up her wins again.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can't put her on the poster in that sense. And also, I can't imagine that they even have it decided yet how long she's holding the belt for. Like, that's a constant negotiation, I would assume.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't see her losing it. I think either she's going to lose it at a major event when the right story is there for her to lose it. And I don't think right now they have the right story for her to lose it.
No, I'm with you, yeah.
She could lose it to Rio, she could lose it to Kanji, but you think for that high stakes match, you think about how much they built with the video packages. They made like a little mini documentary about Kanji. For whoever beats her, they'll do that. Surely. It would be a no-brainer to do it. And you think, like, look at Kanji's career post-Mercedes, and there's a lot more eyes on her than ever.
100%, yeah.
And so I still think Kanji will be the one to beat her.
Yeah.
But if they decided, no, they're going to do it with someone else, and I can only think that the other person would be Rio, because I don't think anyone else, except Danny Luna, but it's political with her, I don't think there's anybody else who is at the level.
Agreed.
That they could beat Mercedes Moné and take that belt. In which case, they haven't got enough time between now and Uprising to do the big Riho build. It would have to, like, especially as she's not even a number 1 contender as yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a complex one.
I just hope that we get Nina Samuels versus Mercedes in between, because I feel like that is the match that needs to happen.
I just think like Nina is I think she's a real unsung hero. And I think she's someone who, she doesn't need that. Like, she's got less years in the ring ahead of her than she has behind her. She's more of a Charles Samuels character than she is a Sapphire Reed. She's been everywhere and she's done everything. She can retire tomorrow and she'll go down as one of the greatest female wrestlers this country's ever produced, and one of the greatest wrestlers, period, that the country's ever produced. But I feel like even just out of respect, it's great for her. And also, it's not like, we should do this for Nina because she's had a really good career. She's still fucking awesome right now. So
I'm saying it because I think she's earned it. I think her work this last year, especially, has earned the match, and I would love to see her.
The match would be great, and the promos and the character stuff and everything would be really, really good. Like Nina Samuels could talk you into a match probably better than any other woman in the country.
Yeah,
so
100%.
100%. Last couple of comments on Sheffield, mate.
Yeah,
I really liked Lycos and Liam Slater. I wondered if that came across as well for you.
I loved it, mate. I thought it was great. I loved everything around it. I loved the story they were telling. Like, I loved that match. It was brilliant. Liam Slater, Lycos did a great job, and I love kind of the little thread on the outside with Lycos 2.
Lycos 2 is low key, absolutely like banging his role here.
Yeah.
I go back to that question we had on the Q&A. Did Cameron Kai maximise his minutes at the anniversary show when the focus wasn't on him? Lycos 2 is, right?
Yeah.
Everything
100%.
that involves Lycos 2, he is maximising his minutes. The backstage promo this week with Lycos is so good because Lycos 2 is literally just standing there listening to it. And then at the end, he's like, we did just lose, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Probably just accept the fact that we lost that match.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
He just mumbles it. You have to actually, like, I was like, I missed that. What did he say? Turn it up a bit? Deaf old man. But, like, I just love that. It's like, it's not like I've got this line I've got to say. I need to save it up. I need to make sure I hit it. It's just perfectly done. He's so good.
I love that they name-checked him by his real name on commentary.
Yes, yeah. Because obviously I didn't know that from being there live, but you text me, didn't you, in the show to be like, they've just called him Joe Nelson. And you're like,
yeah, which is interesting in itself. I love that they had him Liam win by cheating. I love that as well. Like
Lycos could have, but didn't.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
even then, Lycos was gonna, wasn't he? He absolutely was gonna until he saw Lycos 2 looking at him. So when Lycos calls Liam a gaslighter, Lycos isn't exactly as innocent as he's making out to be, is he?
No,
this is a very interesting.
It's interesting. It's intricate, and I'm really. It's intriguing. There's a lot going on here.
For me, that was one highlight of the show. And then the other highlight of the show was the complete opposite. There's nothing intriguing. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing intricate that has built Trent Seven versus Manders. It's just, he's a really cool wrestler. He's a really cool wrestler. They've never wrestled before. We're going to give them 15 minutes to wrestle. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And they just,
And look, again,
beat the piss out of each other, then went and bought themselves a beer at the bar and then went straight over to merch. And it was just like, beautiful.
Love that. Yeah, look.
Full independent wrestling, that.
And again, the only thing that took me out of that was it took about 50 lariats to put Trent down. And look, I get it. I get Trent's stature. I don't think it should be taking Manders that many to beat Trent. Even with Trent as...
The kick out on one, when Manders had just, like, literally geared up for him. It was like...
Yeah.
That's... When I said earlier I'm quite consistent, I shouldn't like that because that's a trope. I loved it.
I see. I didn't mind that because
it's like there is a time when a trope works, and there's a time when it's too tropey. I still think the kick out at one, when done sparingly, works because it is something that's sporting. It's like when you're beating a team in football, and I remember I used to play football. I remember when the other team were battering us and we were getting embarrassed, and I'd just be like fucking wound up by it, and I'd just be like, right, fuck this. And it didn't matter where I was playing on the pitch. I'd be like, I'm just gonna fucking go for it. I'm having a shot from 30 yards. I'm doing whatever. You're just trying to shake shit up.
Yeah.
And that's like the kick out at one, isn't it? And then
it's the adrenaline boost.
Yeah, and you're being battered for a reason.
Yeah.
Once you have that adrenaline boost, you are like, oh, I ain't got anything left. Can we just go home?
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I go home and have a shower and go to bed and write this one off. And that was literally my football career.
If he did it at 2, did the same thing at 2, it wouldn't have landed in the same way, and it just wouldn't have worked. But doing it at 1 and using it that one, I didn't mind that whatsoever. It was just the amount at the end where I was just like, do we need to do that much to beat Trent? With Manders, in 2025. I don't think we do.
Yeah.
A couple of, before we got into what I assume will be the last point we'll raise, a couple of other things. I'm not sure what that match did for Leighton Buzzard. I'm really not sure where he got. I'm intrigued. I kind of thought he was made to look very weak with his knee issues. And look, I know we keep Rev Pro in its own contained little universe, but it made it seem like he was just like, I don't know. It just felt like he was very weak, very sickly, and I just don't know what is next for him. But, and I'll say the same with this point as I will the next point I make, or the point following. I will give it time to breathe. It just didn't land with me initially. I had this feeling it was going to be Manders come out to answer Ricky. I just said, we were sitting there watching. I went, Manders is going to come out. Look, I'm not going to be enthused to say that's what the match I would like to have seen him in, but match against a former undisputed British heavyweight champion, it's a prominent match.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's getting a prominent
and
spot.
The way I'm kind of starting to conceive the Uprising card in my head. I think you can have a Mercedes title match.
Yeah.
You've also got the big triple threat match.
Yeah.
You've also got Mills versus Oku, which they have to make as a big prominent match. Like, that is too good a match, too big a story not to have. Like for me, it should be the whatever they decide, and I'm hoping it's the triple threat that goes on as the main event, because I do think the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship should headline a show. Mills and Oku before it, and Mercedes before that. I like that top trio. In which case, like, Manders and RKJ going out and battering each other for 12 minutes just sounds like a lovely, lovely, like, you know, you've got a 7-course meal here. That's a lovely one to build up to the top end of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and for me, it has the Manders, Connor Mills from Revolution Rumble effect. Not saying it would be necessarily as good as that. It might well be, but just that kind of what it's used for. Also, everyone, I don't hate women, so I don't mind the women's championship going on as the main event, as opposed to Dave, who hates women. It has to be the other.
I don't know. I don't think it does, but I feel like the story for the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship is better than the story for the women's, and the top story should be what headlines.
Mate, I'm kidding. I 100% agree with you. In this case, yeah, for me, it is the top story is that it's the moment, and whatever happens in that is going to get the loudest reaction of the night. So it needs to be there. Something controversial here now, and I know we're nearly at time to wrap up, so I'll keep it quick. I'm going to see where it goes, but if we end up with Young Guns versus Greedy Souls as the match in Cardiff, as opposed to
Andy's pretty much confirmed that on one of the reaction videos, wrap up. I think
it feels. I
don't know what happened there with Good Brothers then.
Yeah, and look, and this is it, right? And I'm saying this as a consumer of a product who doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? So I'll add that in there completely. But going down the road we've been seemingly going down, it just feels so unearned that, these guys are just coming back in, beating them up, and now that's the match we're getting. Because what it does for me is it means that inevitably we will get matches from Greedy Souls to justify them being there, but that Jeopardy, gone.
Yeah, because they've already been put in the match, right?
Yeah, they've already been put in the match, already setting up, so Jeopardy gone.
I never liked the idea that you can get a championship match just by having a go at the champion.
And
like, you've got
there will be
otherwise, why isn't everybody doing that?
So that's what people say. They go, like, but it's a classic wrestling story as old as time, and like we said, it's a classic wrestling trope. It works on occasions, right, where someone has done something that makes you, I want to beat the shit out of them. They go, okay, but only put the belt on the line. Shouldn't work all the time. It's got a time and place, but
classic stories that are as old as time aren't original.
Exactly.
Not everything needs to be original. Don't get me wrong; it doesn't all need to be original, but that just feels a little bit against Rev Pro's normal principles. But it does feel like a little bit of a course redirect. Yeah. Sorry. It does mean that we have because I still think it's going to be Leon Cage. I don't know what it is going to be for the Cruiserweight title, but I feel like Leon Cage will be in the Cruiserweight title match.
Yeah.
Whether I'm starting to think the way Andy was talking the other day, I think it's going to be a big multi-man match for the Cruiserweight title.
Interesting.
I think you're going to get Lio Rush, Will Caven, Nino Bryant, Leon Cage, Chris Ridgway. Like, just put everybody who's been in the picture this year into one match, which means you would have Welsh boy Jay Joshua, Welsh boy Danny Jones and Brendan White, Welsh boy Leon Cage all challenging for titles, which is cool. Like, you know, and it's not like we've just randomly done this because like all of those people are ingrained into Rev Pro history.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's just it did feel like it was going to be Good Brothers. But I will say this, which match do I think's got a higher ceiling? Good Brothers and Young Guns or Greedy Souls and Young Guns? I think Greedy Souls and Young Guns does. Which one would get the bigger reaction on the night? Anywhere but Cardiff, I think Good Brothers would, because for a lot of people, they're still a bit of a novelty. There's still lots of people in the country that haven't been to a Rev Pro show that's had Good Brothers on. But in Cardiff, they're going to love their Welsh lads in front of them, aren't they? And I'm absolutely gassed to see Danny Jones and Brendan White back. Yeah. I think they're one of the best tag teams, not just in Europe, but like anywhere in the world.
They are, they're a great tag team. Great, we're good for having them back.
Like Andy didn't need to give that scoop for once. You could have held that one back.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's kind of like, well, now we know what's going to happen, and that when that Jeopardy goes, I find it hard to check back in. I can't just watch a good wrestling match now for the sake of it being a good wrestling match. If I know who is going to win,
fair enough, mate.
But yeah, in terms of the cruiserweights, I haven't seen anything since then. So I was still on the lines of Joe Lando's using his trophy to get the match, and that's going to be Leo's first defense. That was my mind, but yeah,
I reckon
they're all deserving of a spot.
Based on what Andy said, it will be Nino, Leo, Lando, Leon Cage, Will Caven, and Danny Black. Maybe Ridgway's just kept away from Rev Pro until the new year because he's not actually been involved in that much recently.
Yeah.
Or maybe just simply because there's a lot going on. If you watch the backstage reactions have been really interesting for CPF.
Yeah.
Danny Black is not happy that Joe Lando has used the last trophy just for himself when he could have used it for the team.
Yeah.
And so I think a nice little coming together of Lando and Danny Black in that 6-man. I might be completely barking up the wrong tree because Lio Rush could win next week and that puts the end to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the final point for Sheffield. And then I think I'm quietly very, very happy with what's going on for the Coventry card already, mate. And
yeah, mate, it looks good.
And it's not all. This is another one where it's not all been announced on socials what's happening. So if we've got Yamashita versus Kanji.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Lio Rush and Nino Bryant for the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
We've got JJ Gal versus David Francisco in their big coming together that's been built for ages. We have got the street fight between the Machine, Trent Seven, and Mark Haskins.
Yeah.
We know Manders is there because it's on his tour dates. And we know Shigehiro Irie is there as well because Andy's confirmed it. So, I really hope Manders and Irie are wrestling each other.
That's what I was thinking, mate. Yeah.
Ton of fun. And then that leaves 2 or 3 spare matches for a couple of matches in the women's division, something for the tag team division, and then you've got an entire card there that doesn't feature anything for the heavyweight title that's been built so well already. We could have a week off from that to build up the other ones, or you could have something in there with Shaw and you could do, couldn't you? You could do Liam Slater and Liam and Leon versus Jay and Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
And or you could do a, would this be fun? Liam and Leon versus Mills and Joshua versus Shaw and a partner of his choosing. And a 3-way tag team match. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff you could play with there.
Yeah.
I'd love it. Fucking do Shaw versus Liam.
Yeah.
Do Jay Joshua versus Liam. Give us something we've never seen before. It's just that's what. This is why I'm still so excited about RevPro at this stage of 2025. We've spent the show kind of pulling apart what I thought was a really enjoyable show. Probably my favourite Sheffield show of the year.
Interesting.
Despite the level of scrutiny we've
and that's fair, mate. Yeah, that's fair.
But at the same time, there's so much that I'm still looking forward to, and
look,
this is the joy of loving it as much as we do, right? The things you love the most, you pull apart.
And that's it. It's
because if you didn't, because you only do that when you can.
Yeah, that's the point that I was going to make as well. Is that I'm not, with how critical I'm sounding, I'm probably sound like someone who'll go, well, why are you even watching this? And if you don't like it so much, why are you watching it? Like, it's not that I don't like it; it's I care. I care about what they do. I care about the very high standard they've set for themselves. So I've always said that you should never get to a standard and then dumb yourself back down. Right? That's just not like people enjoy you for what you do.
If you're taking something that's 7 out of 10 and you're then looking at, okay, how could we have made it 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10? That's what we're talking about, isn't it? It's not like we're talking about, that was absolute shit. What was that? Complete animals of a wrestling show.
There was a lot of good there, and I probably sounded really strong at the end when I said I really didn't like it. But talking it out, there was a lot there that I did like, but it's just that the things that took it down for me really dragged it down. And I think a big part of it, I'll be honest, a big part of it, other than those dickheads in the crowd, was the length of the show. I
unusually long.
Yeah,
Sheffield is normally pretty much 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. Same as Coventry, same as Southampton. Southampton sometimes goes a little bit longer. Coventry's been really strict.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 8 o'clock by the time that show finished.
And I say this to...
I never got home from Sheffield as late as I did on Sunday.
I say this to all wrestling promoters, that it's great that they want to give value for money, right? It's great that they've got all of these matches. They want to get people out there. They need to further their storylines. They need to do all of this. But there does need to come a remembrance that people are relying on public transport and stuff like that, that when it comes down to it, like, you need to kind of be tight. And if it means that things are going too long somewhere else, cuts do need to be made elsewhere at times as well. So, and this isn't a Red Pro specific issue. I've experienced near enough every independent show that I've been to, but especially on Sundays when public transport finishes so much sooner than anywhere else. Like, it's just a thing that I think every company needs to bear in mind a little bit. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough of Grumpy George.
Grumpy Dave today. I'm George.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Grumpy Dave. Yeah. I wish I had that much hair up top. Hence wearing the hat. Anyway, mate, you go and enjoy getting your tattoos.
I'm gonna go and
next time.
Stabbed with needles for about 5 hours.
Sounds wonderful, mate. Catch you next time.
See you later, bro.